What's the worst mistake people don't realize they're making in their 20s? Don't pick up smoking. This comes under looking after your body, I suppose. But it's a specific one that is still little known. Wrecking your ears with excessive noise exposure. Even if you don't care about losing your hearing, you don't want catastrophic tinnitus. It's completely disabling. And nobody tells you that you can get it years or decades after the noise exposure. I just thought, I'll knock this off before it gets too bad. Undefined. Tinnitus is very common. Everybody knows someone who has it to some degree, but it can range from a nuisance to a disability. And assuming that we understand someone else's situation can be like believing we understand severe chronic pain after stubbing a toe. Most people's tinnitus won't become disabling. Some people are profoundly deaf and have no problem with tinnitus. Others are crippled by tinnitus and have relatively normal hearing. Noise exposure is only one of many ways you can acquire tinnitus. I believe it was the root of my tinnitus. But it can't explain it completely. But I do believe if I hadn't blasted myself with noise in my 20s I would not have this disability today. Or it would have remained much milder. I'm reminded of that TV ad Yul Brynner recorded shortly before his death. His words, "Whatever you do, just don't smoke," have been stuck in my head for decades. Just turn down the volume. The level of sounds we subject ourselves to for recreation did not exist a few hundred years ago. Unless we were standing beside an erupting volcano. Our ears are not designed for it. Savings. 401k whatever, just invest for yourself. Tanning without sunscreen. That catches up with you when you least expect it. Not saving enough money. Pay yourself first. Don't work the rest of your life. Don't save what's left after spending. Spend what's left after saving. Not making tiny changes and sticking to them. I know that I had an all-or-nothing attitude in my 20s. If I tried my hand at painting and my first few attempts were crap, I'd drop it. If I tried saving money and saw how little it was, I'd spend it. You have to do little things every day and just don't stop. It'll add up in your 30s and you'll be so grateful even later. The problem is, many 20-year-olds think of 30 and above as not counting somehow. They can't imagine not being a complete success in their 20s or not being in a perfect relationship in their 20s. But life goes on. Your 30s are freeing and you're in a whole different mental space from then on. Don't get desperate and stay with an awful person just because you're so old and unmarried at 29. Or make decisions that ignore the rest of your life. Don't quit studying or learning just cause you're out of college. If you want a career change, don't not do an online course or start working towards it because you'll see a result 5 years from now. That 5 years will pass and you'll wish you had done something. Just keep doing small things. As you get money, you tend to take out credit to get nice things. A sudden change in your career can ruin your life for a while. Be careful about buying things you can't pay for outright. Treating their body like it's a rental. Look after it. You will be living in this body for many years to come. Don't burn out the clutch by 27 and live with the consequences for 60 more years. Sticking to a career they hate because that's what they chose to do when they were 16 to 18 years old. It's never too late to change your career path, and if you're not enjoying it now, do you think that will change in another 20 to 30 years? But what are you supposed to do when you have a business degree and have only been teaching English in Japan and you're almost 30? The degree is worthless now. Not wearing a condom. Bold of you to assume I have sex. Thinking this is the person they'll be forever. Thinking this is the person they will be with forever. You are not who you were at 20 when you turn 40. No one ever is. Whether you succeed as a couple or even as an individual is keep recognizing your growths, strengths and challenges. If you aren't taking dental hygiene serious in your 20s, you are going to have a bad time later in life. Undefined. Brush twice daily after every meal is better. Wait a little since some foods can weaken enamel. Floss twice daily after every meal is better, or at least once at night. Electric toothbrush will change your life. Not necessary, but they do a way better job than you probably do at brushing. Get the ones with a spinning head brush. Visit your dentist every 6 months for regular checkups. Don't brush too hard or you will wear away your enamel. When you floss, get up into your gum line. You need to scrap away the plaque from up there, not just remove food from between your teeth. Did I mention flossing and brushing twice daily? Edit 2. After all the comments, I went researching some more additional info. Ultrasonic toothbrush are recommended over rotating, but it has to be the right toothbrush, which after some research could cost you up to $200. As far as cheaper options, the rotating brush is still recommended over vibrating. Dent is one brand that uses the proper frequency, but the price tag is, well, a lot. Worrying about their speedy job. Use that time off. Go on that trip. If you're replaceable, so are they. This applies to people also. Buying a brand new car. I understand needing a car. You do not need a 40-60K car fresh off the lot with a $700 monthly payment over the next 6 to 7 years. Yes, it's nice to have a flashy, powerful car. But it really sucks to constantly be broke because you're paying for a car that is constantly depreciating in value. Mid-30s female here, and some of my mistakes. Rushing into settling down/settling for less in long-term relationships. I was scared to be alone in my 20s, and it seems so irrational looking back. Not loving myself enough to see these relationships weren't worth my time. Getting into debt. I am in severe debt. My credit score was less than 200 last time I checked. This was for stupid speep. Speep that hasn't even survived the test of time. Store cards and catalogs were the main culprit. Invest in ESAs. Save. Practice living like a minimalist and have what you really desire. Rather than lots of fast fashion and useless home decor items just because they're trendy. They will soon be destitute. Being reckless with money/caring little, changing phone contract when I found a better deal, for instance. Just leaving them when I pleased unpaid. Avoid overeating. Drinking and smoking if you can. Takeaways are a huge waste of money. You only speak them out.